It is now my distinct pleasure and honor to present to you Her Honor, Katjana Ballantyne, Mayor of the City of Somerville.
Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. It's an honor to serve this great city every day, and it's an honor to gather with you tonight. To my family, thank you. Your patience, your support means everything to me. You remind me daily why I do this work, even if they think I'm like 311 sometimes. Before I get started, I do need to say for a second time that I'd like to highlight that tonight is the first time in Somerville's history that the mayor, the city council president, the school committee chairperson are all women. This is a historic milestone in our city's leadership, and it's a testament to the commitment to progress and representation. And to think it only took 183 years. I'd also like to pause at the moment and acknowledge some of our state officials who are here today. Senator Pat Jalen, District Attorney Marion Ryan, State Representative Christine Barber, and State Representative Erica Eiderhoven. Thank you. So I want to speak about the guiding star of all the work we do here in our city government. Simply put, we are all driven to do right by all the people in Somerville. Every day we are charting a course for our city based on equity, inclusion, and progress for all. These are not just words. They guide the strategic investments of our funds. They are policies and plans that we hammer out together with our community, and then we work like hell to deliver on. I count myself as exceptionally lucky to work on this mission with such a fine group of people. Our residents want to create positive change and progress for all. For that progress and focus, I want to thank the City Council, the school committee for their support, the community for joining in, our many partners for strengthening us, and especially the staff, all of our staff, who never cease to impress me with their dedication and talent. I'd like to ask all the staff here to stand for a moment of appreciation. Thank you for all your hard work throughout the year. Whether it was the parking department rolling out safety stick cameras that help keep cars from blocking bus stops, crosswalks, accessible parking spaces, or fire hydrants, or our Office of Veteran Services honoring veterans with services and celebrations, including gearing up to reinstall our Korean and Vietnam memorials this year. Our 311 continuing to take record numbers of calls while building out their services to improve resident experience, or our IT working behind the scenes to upgrade our systems and keep us efficient. And there's so much more on the horizon. that we're going forward on. Whether that's economic development and the Somerville Housing Authority securing a grant to launch free Wi-Fi for public housing tenants this year, or our housing and planning teams pushing development and construction of nearly 700 affordable housing units in our pipeline, my administration is moving Somerville forward. That said, before I dive into Somerville's story, we must acknowledge the elephant that's outside the room. The results of the 2024 election left many of us grappling with frustration, fear, and uncertainty. But while walking down Highland Ave recently, I spotted a sign of hope. It was a small blue lawn sign with an outline of Somerville, and on it it said, "All are welcome here. One Somerville. Diversity is our strength." I've got the same sign at my home. The cities, schools, and PTA distributed these signs at the start of the first Trump administration to show our community values endure no matter who's sitting in the White House. It bolstered me, certainly, to see it at another home. Yes, the sign is small, and it's faded from many years of weathering, but it is still standing, and his message is loud and clear. Somerville has hope. Somerville welcomes all. And for me, that means that Somerville seeks progress for all, which is the guiding force of my administration. Remember who we are. We are resilient, creative, and determined. We will treat our immigrant residents and all residents with decency, compassion, and respect. These are non-negotiable values inside the city of Somerville. Our progress comes in the daily work of local government, whether that's combating prejudice or filling potholes. So tonight, as we look back at the mountain of work accomplished in 2024 and ahead to the work and challenges that 2025 holds, let me say this. As the sands shift beneath us at the national level, Somerville will be your solid ground. We must all stand against hatred and division, be it racism, anti-Semitism, anti-Muslim bigotry, transphobia, ableism, misogyny, anti-Arab sentiment, sexism, or similar attempts at othering. When it comes to our immigrant residents, we're ramping up Know Your Rights trainings and legal support access, including the grim work of helping parents and guardians create plans for the care of their children should they themselves be deported. I will never forget back in 2016, as deportation threats were ramping up, my younger daughter, a third grader at the time, looked up at me and she said, "Mama, are they going to take you away?" I'm a naturalized American citizen, so I could comfort her that I was safe, but not all parents can. The next thing my daughter said to me was, "Mama, me and my friends are going to protect my immigrant classmates." I have never forgotten that. Somerville is not in control of immigration enforcement, but we will and we must adhere to the highest standard, a standard even a third grader knows is right. The challenges we face, whether protecting immigrant families or providing for those most affected by today's soaring costs of living, are made even steeper by national trends. To meet these challenges, we must ensure a stable financial footing. We can't control national economic forces, but we can protect our community by managing our local resources wisely. I am proud to share that for a second consecutive year, my administration has earned Somerville a AAA bond rating from Standard & Poor's. It's a first for our city, and high ratings save us money, your money. Our fiscal discipline allows us to continue the work we have started without pause or redirection, despite economic uncertainties. Make no mistake, Somerville is facing the same uncertain economic outlook facing the state and our nation. And we navigate this down cycle. As we navigate this down cycle in next year's budget, will again be tighter. But our teams are hard at work, finding operational efficiencies, and we are positioning Somerville to outperform the market. And we are using our financial strength to make deeper investments in the people of this city. Last year, we invested in new staff, road and sewer projects, green energy projects, a new fire station, expanded programs for youth, seniors, small businesses, and more to better serve our community. We also successfully negotiated agreements with 4 of our unions: emergency telecommunication, police dispatchers, crossing guards, firefighters, fire alarm dispatchers. One of my proudest achievements as mayor last year was our renegotiation of the E911 contract. The people who pick up the phone when you call 911 and make sure help gets to you are mostly women. We also have fire alarm staff who are mostly men. These 2 crews do essentially the same vital work, but the women at E911 have been paid less for decades. I'm proud to say the new contract delivers higher salaries, respectful job titles, new differentials, expanded benefits, and stipends that align E911 with those offered to fire alarm workers. As I've said many times, on my watch, Somerville will not stand for unequal pay for equal work. And tonight, I have good news on SMEA, which has recently changed its name to SMEU. But names aside, the good news is that we are days away from ratifying their new contract. We reached a tentative agreement for SMEU, Unit B, our largest bargaining unit, in December. This morning, SMEU leadership joined me in my office as I signed the memorandum of agreement. Next, it goes to their membership. I'm proud of this contract. It takes on more than inflation. We sent an arrow right at the heart of long-standing bias. That's gender bias, class bias, and educational bias. Bias that is pervasive in our society. Across 25 departments and over 70 different job titles, we did the work to be sure comparable work is comparably paid. If it is ratified as it stands, it will be a step towards equity that is decades overdue. As we go to work for you every day under these agreements, my goal is to be sure we are a city where every worker's contribution is compensated fairly so we can attract and retain the best talent and staff. Our Our dedicated staff is part of the equation, but community also drives what we do. At the heart of my administration lies the commitment to inclusive leadership. Progress is most impactful when it is created with and for the people. This has meant leading with intention, surveying hundreds of residents, holding extensive public forums, and engaging directly with community members. Inclusive planning takes time, but it is essential to achieving sustainable, equitable outcomes. From the moment I took office, I made it my mission to ensure that decision-making reflects the voices of our community. From our transformative plans for Brick Bottom and Assembly Square neighborhoods to our cultural capacity and Armory master plans to keep the arts in Somerville, or our anti-displacement and public safety for all plans that will nurture and protect our residents for generations. None of this would have been possible without the extraordinary efforts of community members who have shared their time and skills. Our residents are a tremendous brain trust of talent and knowledge. By embracing inclusive leadership and working hand in hand with our community, we are not just imagining a better future, we are building it together, turning aspirations into actionable progress. And I am proud to share we are making actionable progress on one of our region's greatest challenges, a severe lack of affordable housing. In Somerville, we are evolving housing stability supports from a small group of Band-Aid solutions to a robust ecosystem of initiatives. We have distributed over $9.5 million in flexible and rental assistance, helping more than 400 households stay housed. Our new municipal voucher program is also breaking new ground. It provides deep rental subsidies and has moved 29 families from uncertainty to safe, permanent housing. This year, we also launched a guaranteed basic income pilot. The program provides $750 monthly to 200 qualifying families, including Somerville Public School families, allowing them to cover essential needs without restrictions. But we are not just making it possible for those in need to pay for housing, we are making sure our city also helps build and fund the creation of affordable housing. Our groundbreaking Early Action Acquisition Fund has already purchased 15 units that would have been gobbled up by the open market. We also use this money to fund the development of 60 income-restricted housing units. And we have 684 units in our affordable housing pipeline. That's 684 real projects in some stage of permitting or development. We've also been pushing for state laws that keep people housed, and it's working. Thanks to Somerville's leadership, starting in May, eviction records will be sealed for no-fault evictions for the first time in the Commonwealth's history. I want to thank our state delegation for their partnership and support in the belief that everyone deserves housing. Our 3 anti-displacement task forces are another key piece of this puzzle. I asked each group to focus on the needs of specific populations, residents, artists, or small businesses. We will share the recommendations in February, and their findings will help guide the city's work to keep us whole. While we work to increase affordable permanent housing, we are equally committed to supporting our unhoused neighbors with compassion and safety. Being unhoused is not a crime. Our response to this crisis must be guided by an approach that not only acknowledges its complexity, but also prioritizes the health, safety, and dignity of all community members. This means addressing the root causes of homelessness with compassion while ensuring that public space remains safe and accessible for everyone. When the unhoused population in Davis Square grew this summer, we initiated a holistic response informed by our experience addressing an encampment under I-93 in East Somerville last year. In both cases, we led a multi-department effort in collaboration with our partners, the Somerville Homeless Coalition, tailoring solutions to meet the unique needs of each community and protecting everyone's safety. I want to pause to say a special thanks to everyone at the Somerville Homeless Coalition. Every day, they go above and beyond to serve our city's unhoused population, and we are honored to work with them. Thank you. And we are using these approaches to address community needs around unhoused residents citywide. As we speak, our seasonal warming center is providing people with shelter from the cold. It just opened up down the street in the Cummings. And since I opened Somerville's first warming center in February 2023, we have expanded it every season, going from being open for 4 nights to almost 5 months this year. A big thank you to our council, city staff, our nonprofit partners for making this happen, and thank you to the school committee for graciously lending us the Cummings School building. Public safety and human dignity are not oppositional forces. We can uphold both. That extends to every area of law enforcement. Comprehensive public safety is about more than enforcement. It's about partnership. This year, I appointed Shumaine Benford as Somerville's new chief of police. Our shared philosophy is that effective public safety isn't focused on reacting after the fact. It's focused on building trust, fostering collaboration, and preventing issues before they arise. I am proud to share that this month we will release the recommendations from our Public Safety for All, Civilian Oversight, and Anti-Violence working groups. These reflect years, yes, I said years, of thoughtful collaborative work by task force members, a mix of dedicated residents, city employees, elected officials, and experts in public safety. To drive the work forward, we are hosting a community event in February, and we'll be hiring a Public Safety for All project manager to advance the path laid out in these plans. And our infrastructure and asset management and economic development teams, along with our fire department, are building Somerville's first new fire station in over 100 years. The new station will open in the spring of 2025 and will serve Assembly Square for decades to come. In this moment, however, public safety is more than being safe from broad threats like fire and crime. Safety comes with inclusion, rights, and respects. As an immigrant myself, I understand firsthand the challenges of navigating a new country. That's why the city has continued to invest in breaking down language and cultural barriers. The most recent U.S. Census data shows almost 25% of our residents are immigrants. So I have empowered our Summer Viva Office of Immigrant Affairs to lead citywide efforts to welcome and support immigrants and non-native English speakers. We are making big strides. Participation in community meetings and public processes has doubled in some areas, thanks to the expansion of translation and interpretation services. And in 2025, we are launching a citywide public interpretation line so residents can get support in their native language from their very first call. Inclusion means more than welcoming. It means making sure every resident can fully participate in community life. This year, we took many strides towards making Somerville a more accessible city for residents with disabilities. We bought the city's first ever Braille embosser, began ADA upgrade plans for our website, and installed dozens of accessible pedestrian crosswalk buttons. I want to thank the Commission for Persons with Disabilities and our Racial and Social Justice Department for raising the first disability pride flag ever in the city. Somerville is committed to being a place where every resident can thrive, no matter their abilities. In 2025, we'll be taking on senior homelessness with our Older Adults Bridge program. Thanks to a state earmark from Senator Pat Jalen, this pilot program allows the Office of Housing Stability to intervene with financial and social services to keep low-income seniors from experiencing homelessness while they are waitlisted for subsidized housing. From our oldest resident to our youngest, Somerville supports every generation. Our commitment to youth and development starts with our schools, where we've defied regional trends of cuts and layoffs. Instead, over the 3 years of my administration, we increased the school budget by 27%. And in our fiscal year 2025 budget, we added over 35 net full-time equivalent positions to Somerville Public Schools. Investing in youth doesn't stop at the classroom. My administration has invested heavily in expanded after-school programs and new youth opportunities. Among other work, in the coming year, we are piloting a school year expansion of the Mayor's Summer Jobs Program. We are launching Let's Get Working, a partnership between DPW and Somerville High School's Center for Career and Technical Education to offer paid, hands-on job training in professions like HVAC, plumbing, and carpentry. And as we need to connect our youth to the innovation and opportunities right here, we're exploring partnerships with area businesses like classroom visits, site tours, demos, internships, and work study programs where youth can tangibly see the possibilities. Recently, on a visit to Ultragenics, it's a new biotech lab in Brick Bottom, I ran into a Somerville High School graduate, now working as a researcher there. Her parents immigrated here, and she has been able to continue to live with her family in Somerville because of an exciting local employer hired her. This is the kind of opportunity we need to be sure our kids can see and reach. We must also advance workforce development for all ages if we truly seek progress for all. Through our school's Adult Learning Center, SCALE, and our City Division of Summer Promise, we are opening access to job training that offers gateways to good jobs. Already, Somerville Public School has hired 10 paraprofessionals who graduated from our para-training program. Earning a stable income and accessing career opportunities are two sides of the same coin. While housing programs address one side of the coin, the others focuses on job training and workforce development, equipping residents with tools, skills, and supports to secure sustaining jobs. It takes both sides of the coin to help people not only find homes, but to stay in them. In the face of the regional housing crisis, Somerville is leading the way, using zoning to combat displacement, preserve affordability, and create spaces for opportunity and connection. When our strategic plan, Summer Visions 2030, set a goal to create over 1,200 affordable housing units, many called it overly ambitious. Yet, as we enter 2025, we are on track not just to meet this goal, but surpass it. But we are not stopping there. Our transformative plans for Brick Bottom and Assembly Square neighborhoods could add another 1,200 affordable housing units. We are also using planning and zoning to encourage the growth and development of both green tech lab space and our artist community. Through the growth of the green tech incubators like Greentown Labs, we're helping foster innovation, entrepreneurship, and local job creation in sustainable technologies. We are equally committed to preserving arts and culture. During the pandemic, the city took ownership of the Armory to protect it as a creative hub. With over $500,000 in grant supports for the nonprofit Arts at the Armory, the building's largest tenant, and a new master plan shaped by community input, the Armory building will continue to serve as a dynamic venue for diverse artistic expression and community engagement. Through these efforts, Somerville is building a future rooted in creativity, sustainability, and innovation, staying true to what makes us unique. Preparing for a future also means planning for climate change. Our goal is to do our part and more, going beyond our borders to fight global warming. That's why upon taking office, I raised our climate goals from targeting just net zero, balancing the amount of greenhouse gases we emit with the amount we remove, to aiming to be carbon net negative by 2050. Being net negative means that our goal is to remove more carbon from the atmosphere than we produce. This ambitious goal reflects the urgency of the climate crisis. My administration has doubled the Office of Sustainability's budget and the number of full-time staff to tackle this crisis. And in 2024, I unveiled a wave of ambitious climate policies and programs as part of our updated Climate Forward plan. This year, we will release a report exploring what it will take to switch our multifamily buildings off natural gas and onto cleaner electric energy. One of the potential solutions is a technology called networked geothermal. I mean, I am just so excited about this. My staff, I mean, I just can't, we're gonna take the Earth's heat. That's that steady temperature inside the Earth to heat and cool buildings above ground, offering an exciting opportunity to transition to cleaner, safer, cost-saving energy at a neighborhood scale. And in 2025, I'm excited to continue work with the community to bring clean energy to Somerville and seek funding for the project design. Okay, speaking of cool environmental solutions, DPW is now shopping in the produce aisle to keep our roads ice-free this winter. Their new pre-treatment brining system is made of beet juice. Turns out beet juice is really a superfood. The result is less salt on the roads, fewer impacts on cars, plants, trees, and lower winter maintenance costs. We're not just fighting snow, we are fighting for our environment, one storm at a time. This is the Somerville I love, going way outside the box to find creative solutions. Empowering our residents means designing and building open spaces everyone can enjoy at absolutely no cost. In 2024, we opened and expanded 4 green spaces, broke ground on the Dillboy Athletic Auxiliary Fields, and a new park at 217 Somerville Ave. Just a few weeks ago, we celebrated Boynton Yard's public space created through a private development. This park is a perfect example of privately owned public spaces, or POPs. I want to thank our Public Space and Urban Forestry team for their leading edge work on this work for POPs in Somerville and in the landscape field. As a counselor, one of my proudest achievements was introducing Somerville's Native Species Ordinance. In 2024, as mayor, I was honored to build on that work and launch the city's first ever pollinator action plan to protect our native pollinators. This is a first-of-its-kind plan for a dense urban city like ours, and our hope is it can serve as a resource for similar cities across this country. By blending private development, environmental innovation, and community-driven planning, Somerville is building a sustainable future for all. And that brings me to infrastructure. We are not just imagining an equitable future. We are literally building it. If it seems like half the city is dug up or under construction, well, that's because it is. You know, I mean, it is. Recently completed projects include Eastern Pearl Street, Powderhouse Boulevard, Holland Street, and more, and all are designed to improve traffic flow, pedestrian safety, and sustainability. And this year, we completed phase 1 of Highland Ave's repaving. Now we are getting ready for Highland Ave's full redesign, bringing this vital corridor into the 21st century. Then there's the massive overhaul of our sewer systems. We are spending $243 million on the Somerville Ave sewer overhaul, the Spring Hill sewer separation project, and the massive Poplar Street pump station. And can we celebrate just for a moment? Last month, we were one of only 4 school projects to advance to the feasibility phase in the Massachusetts School Building Authority state funding program. We are now one step closer to significant funding for Winter Hill School project, which could possibly include the Brown if that turns out to be the best option. The important thing I want you to take away is that we are literally laying the foundation to be thriving, clean, and forward-looking city for its residents long into the future. At the start of tonight, I spoke about the threats from a change in Washington, D.C., and about the growing narrative that diversity, equity, and inclusion are outdated, and that government has no role in making our lives better. Our work proves otherwise. When equity for people guides local action, progress for all follows. Consider that our residents just voted to increase our Community Preservation Act surcharge, unlocking funding for affordable housing, open space, historic preservation, and recreation space. When I think about the future, I see a city that continues to live up to that determined little blue yard sign on Highland Ave. All are welcome here. One Somerville. Diversity is our strength. So tonight, I thank you, not just for being here, but for helping us act on the values that make Somerville truly special. Together, we'll face whatever comes our way.